We like to believe we see reality as it truly is, that the world around us, the air, the stars, the ground beneath our feet, is solid, true, and real. But what if it isn't? What if everything we know, this planet, this universe, even you, is part of a vast illusion, rendered only when we look at it? A simulation. It sounds like science fiction, but philosophers, physicists, and visionaries have begun to wonder if it's more than just imagination. If it's possible, maybe even likely, that we're living inside a cosmic computer program. The limits of perception. We don't see the world directly. Our senses are translators, not mirrors. Light, sound, touch. They are raw signals, stripped down, compressed, and remade by our brains. We don't see reality. We interpret it. To the mind, a tree isn't photons, it's green. A sound isn't vibration, it's music. We live inside a translation of the world, not the world itself. And so, from the very beginning, everything we know is filtered, simplified, a story built from limited data. If our senses already simulate reality inside the mind, then how far a leap is it to imagine that reality itself could be simulated? The stage and the script. Imagine a theater. The audience sits in darkness, watching a detailed world play out on stage. They see castles, forests, battles, but behind the walls, nothing. Only scaffolding, props, and clever light. Now scale that theater up, to galaxies, to life, to everything. What if reality itself works like that stage, only rendering what needs to be seen when it needs to be seen? When you look at a mountain, it forms before you. When you turn away, it dissolves. Not because it's fake, but because it's efficient. It's how modern video games work. They don't generate every tree in the forest, only the ones you can see. Could the universe, in all its beauty, run on the same logic? The 5 assumptions. Philosopher Nick Bostrom offered a thought experiment, not to prove, but to question. He said that if 5 things are true, then the odds that we're living in a simulation aren't small. They're overwhelming. 1. Consciousness can be simulated. We don't yet understand how the brain produces awareness, but if the right patterns of information can create a mind, then a digital mind could be just as real as a biological one. Because what matters is not the material, it's the experience. If a being feels pain, joy, love, does it matter whether that being is made of flesh or code? 2. Computing power keeps growing. From abacuses to supercomputers, our capacity to calculate has exploded. Now imagine a civilization far older and wiser than ours, harnessing the power of suns or galaxies to compute. To them, simulating entire worlds could be as trivial as running a weather model. 3. Civilizations survive. If most civilizations destroy themselves before reaching that level, through war, collapse, or carelessness, then none survive to build simulations. But if even one makes it, the door opens forever. 4. They choose to simulate. Why would an advanced being want to? For science, for nostalgia, for art, or perhaps simply because creation is the ultimate expression of intelligence. If they could recreate their past, or explore infinite versions of it, wouldn't they? 5. If many simulations exist, most minds are simulated. If one civilization runs millions of detailed worlds, each with billions of conscious beings, then statistically, the number of simulated minds far outweighs the real ones. In that equation, you are far more likely to be living in one of the many simulations than in the single, base reality. It's unsettling. But the math whispers something strange. The universe may be less solid and more digital than we ever imagined. The question of meaning. So what if it's true? What if every star in the sky is a rendering? Every emotion, every moment, part of a grand computation? Does that make life meaningless? Does it make love less real or kindness less valuable? No. Because no matter what we're made of, atoms or algorithms, experience is still sacred. Pain still hurts. Joy still heals. And choices still ripple through whatever reality we inhabit. Whether you're coded or born, what you do still matters to the world you touch. Meaning is not granted by the universe. Meaning is created by us. The counter-arguments. Of course, not everyone agrees. Some scientists argue that consciousness might be impossible to replicate. That no matter how advanced a computer becomes, it can never feel. Others point out that the physics of computation may limit how much can ever be simulated. Perhaps reality is too complex to compress. Perhaps the rendering metaphor breaks down at quantum scales. And then there's ethics. Would any enlightened civilization truly create entire worlds filled with suffering beings? If compassion evolves with intelligence, perhaps the greatest species would refuse to simulate at all. These counterpoints matter, because they remind us that this isn't an answer. It's an invitation to think. The mirror of curiosity. The simulation hypothesis isn't really about proving we're fake. It's about confronting the limits of what we know. Every generation has faced the same mirror, asking the same question in different forms. To the ancient Greeks, it was Plato's cave, where prisoners mistake shadows for the world. To Descartes, it was the evil demon, tricking our senses, making false worlds feel true. To us, it's the simulation, a new metaphor for an ancient fear, that reality might not be what it seems. But it's also a mirror of wonder. Because in asking if we're simulated, we are really asking what it means to be real. Living inside the question. Maybe there's no way to know. No test that can prove it. No instrument that can measure the line between base and simulated. But that doesn't mean the question is useless. In fact, it's one of the most human questions ever asked. Because whether we are code or carbon, we still wake up, breathe, love, struggle, and dream. If anything, the simulation idea should deepen our appreciation of existence. If we are simulated, then every sunrise, every act of kindness, every heartbeat is part of a creation so vast it defies comprehension. And if we're not, then the cosmos itself is that miracle. Either way, we live in something extraordinary. The comedy of creation. Picture this. Somewhere in another dimension, a technician leans back, yawns, and tweaks a parameter. Add 5% more curiosity to the human program. They mumble. Or worse, they trip over the power cable. The thought is both ridiculous and strangely humbling. Because the deeper truth isn't about who made us, it's about who we become. Whether our universe was written in code or chaos, we are still its authors, in part, still shaping its stories through every action we take. The eternal reflection. Every theory of reality, from Plato to modern physics, has been a reflection of our longing to understand, to connect the infinite with the intimate. The simulation idea is no different. It's not just a question about computers. It's a meditation on meaning. Because if everything is a simulation, then perhaps the universe itself is an act of art, a masterpiece of logic, love, and imagination. And perhaps the creator, whatever that means, is not a distant deity, but something woven into the very fabric of our curiosity. When we ask, are we real? We are echoing the same force that created stars, the desire to know. The final question. So, are we living in a simulation? Maybe, maybe not. But perhaps the answer matters less than the asking. Because the act of wondering, questioning, imagining, that's what makes us human. If we are simulated, then we are the universe learning to dream within itself. If we are real, then we are the cosmos waking up one mind at a time. Either way, we are a story being told across eternity. And whether written in code or carved in starlight, it is our story. So live well, love deeply, and look at the world with awe, for even if it's an illusion, It's a beautiful one. If you found this story fascinating, like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel, where we explore the civilizations, ideas, and mysteries that shaped humanity.